Hello, 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 everyone. How is everyone doing? Good morning. Happy Thursday. Good morning, Patrick. Thank you for putting in the earnings, Sterling. Good morning. Hope your hand is still healing. Cisco was a beat up again. We finally, round trip, 25 years to get back to the dot-com highs. 25 years. It's a long time to be holding if you're holding out for that. Uh, So that's finally, oh boy, that's been a long time. Disney missed on revenue, down 6.02. Good morning, Jake. What else? Good morning, Anissa. What is this? JP Morgan turns bullish on Circle and stable coins. All right. Yeah, the big short investor Michael Burry shuts down his hedge fund. Good morning, PTP. Good morning, OD Green. What else? Good morning, Rick. All right. Hedge fund caution may spark year-end rally. JP Morgan says equity markets could rebound by year-end after hedge. What do you mean equity markets could rebound? They've already rebounded. What? Like we're in shooting distance of the highs. They've already rebounded. Hello, Charles. Good morning, Royal Palms. That Daly is speaking right now. Mary Daly. Good morning, Daniel. I tend to lean on AI not being akin to a tulip bubble. We shall see. Oh boy. But that means they've thought about the bubble. What else? Good morning, Tony. Sorry, my clicky fingers are working. All right. So what else do we have going on? The government's reopened. Government is officially reopened again, although it'll probably be shut down at the end of January again. So hey, enjoy it while it lasts. Wonder when we're going to get data. They have not said exactly, and some of the data probably won't be coming out for October, period. So we shall see. Uh, Today we have the EIA numbers since it was Veterans Day on Tuesday. We got Fed's Hammock speaking. What else? That's about it. We got 4 and 8 week bill auctions. We've got tomorrow. I don't think we're going to get any of those numbers still. Any of those numbers, it's too soon. S&P 500. All the mega caps except for Meta are down, and Meta's barely up. There's your Cisco up 5.6%. There's your Disney down 5.62%. But sell the semis today. Semiconductors. Dollar Tree getting hit right there, down 3%. Walmart still up, which it's still got that double bottom playing out. So there's what's it? Robinhood down 2.26. Your groups, let's just do a quick refresh, but it looks like basic materials and energy and consumer defensive are up, and everything else flat to down, with technology and comm services lagging today. Fed watch only at 53% for another cut in December now. So getting back to that 50-50 area. Fear and greed still solidly in fear mode. Schiller PE 4042 in these dirt cheap markets. We already covered, thanks to Sterling putting in the earnings. Applied material after the close. That's probably the biggest one. That's probably the biggest one. And then not much tomorrow. Oops. Oh, I hate when the bar jumps around. Good morning, David. Good morning. Did I say good morning to Tony? If so, you got 2 of them, Tony. All righty, week's almost over. Oh, there's your gold. Let's start with the S&P though. S&P. Now we have a confirmed mini double top. Won't be officially triggered. It's on the 1 hour. It closed like literally right at it. Did this officially trigger on the 1 hour? I did not check. 68.51.25. I thought, yeah, 61.58.21.25. Close right at the point is not an official trigger. Did not think it did, but it. So we'll be looking again. This could pull it back not even to the major support area. Still, we have a gap left behind from Friday to Sunday. That double wouldn't even take it there potentially. So, going to be watching for some continued possible pressure and a little pullback there. The levels are 68.30, 68.20, and 68.10. I know there's digits after them, so I'd be targeting 68.31 and 68.20. Again, not trading advice. If it does bounce back and invalidates the pattern, right now the invalidation point is still on a close above 68.8225 or a trade through 68.88. And on any bounce back, there's a fair amount of resistance to watch for if it does bounce back right around 68.60. There was some buying pressure there and below that, and now that's turned into some potential selling pressure. What else? Good morning, Ted. Let's see. Rick, I'm seeing a Head and Shoulders neckline at 23,450 on NQ. There's a neckline right around 23. 20. Hold on. 23,450. Where are you seeing? Are you sure you didn't? That's not a typo. There's a little mini Head and Shoulders right here, but it's still also this rally didn't invalid. I'm still looking at it from the double top. They're virtually the same targets. So that is confirmed right now, not officially triggered on the 4 hour, not triggered on the 1 hour yet. The little level on any bounce back is 25,590. Where could this take us down? This could actually take us down between the 50 and the 62% harmonics on this green area. Okay, let me just show you. Pull that off. You can see the 50 to 62% harmonics. That could take us back in that target area. All right, the targets are officially right around 25,332, 333, 25,261, 25,188. Again, not officially triggered yet. And there's still the gap left between Friday and Sunday. So on the rally, I'll be looking at this 25,580 as key resistance. And then if it invalidated a double, let's just see what that point is. If it invalidated the double, would have to get beyond, on a closing basis, 25,698, 25, which is, there's also key resistance shelf there. So that's what we're looking at right there. 25,450. That's better. 25,450. You have a neckline here. It's 25,450 is a little low. Let's see where that is exactly. Right. It's still just a little above there. It would not be off this shoulder. It would be closer to here. But it doesn't matter. There's still a double top. So this is the key pivot low. This is still the key pivot low. 25,478.50. Either way, whether you're trading this as a head and shoulder, it's virtually the same targets. The Dow also on a 1 hour did trigger its double. And pulling back right now. Going to watch for a follow through to Dow. Remember, on any bounce, the candle bodies are a little different. I'm watching a little lower on the 1 hour on any bounce, about 48,325 max, 48,292 to 48,325 if we do get a bounce. That's what I'm looking at there. The invalidation point on the Dow would be 48,440 on a closing basis. Russell, there was no mini double. We're just breaking down. Oops, wrong line. There's a really key area right around the 2450 now. 2450 is key resistance on any bounce. Trading against a flat 50, and right below here, there's a pretty decent support level. So I have to see, and there's a gap still left behind right near that support level, 24.40. So keep an eye. We're almost there right now. So I'm going to be watching this area. You could even go, that's to fill the gap, but right below that, right about 24.38, there is the key support. So 24.38 to 24.40, and now key resistance is 24.50, 24.51. VIX trying to rotate back up, just a little. If we start really accelerating above 1850, we get momentum, then I'll watch for even a bigger pullback rather than those doubles. DAX closing above the 62.5. The DAX is just range bound. So right now, I'm just again watching it to come back. We got some support, we got some resistance, we got a gap left behind if it continues to sell off the gap from Tuesday to Wednesday. Other than that, it's just range bound. So watching for pullbacks for support or selling against resistance. The yields turning back up today, could be on a close above yesterday's high as a percent beat buy, holding the rotation zone on a closing basis. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on there. The yields would be a percent B sell that's already were down below yesterday's lows. I mean the 10-note futures. Crude, finally we filled the gap on this momentum short yesterday. Now we're bouncing back. But key resistance 59.60. 59.60, 59.50 to 59.60. Going to watch if we bounce up there for another potential rollover play. Not much, nothing to talk about with natty gas. Gold finished the double bottom pattern and then closed above. We take off the blue lines real quick. You see closed above the 62.5 yesterday, barely. So that shifted the probability. So any pullbacks, we'll be looking for additional buy setups. All right. Again, the next target is 20 from based off the probabilities are 42.74 approximately and 43.36. Silver broke out to new highs and putting in what could be a short-term topping bar with cycles at the top, and we do have a massive double top pattern in silver now. But the double has the little mini double bottoms, or the little mini inverse head and shoulders, sorry, has played out. I just covered gold. Copper also bounced there, holding this trend line. So if we dip back below the trend line, it's really below the 50 at this point. There's no more longs in copper from my perspective. Dollar index, no percent B trigger. Going to watch to see where this closes today. We're getting close to oversold territory, and we might have another percent B buy set bar set up for tomorrow with cycles at the bottom. Still looking for buys, setups. Nothing's triggered yet. There's your euro coming up against the 50s, looking for sell stops in that. There's a percent B sell. If tomorrow we close below today's low, potentially. Spiders, we are in potential massive double top territory, just like the S&P. I did not cover that on the S&P. There's your S&P, your big potential double top. Long way off from triggering. And you see it also here on the Spideys. So they may never trigger before they're invalidated, but they are in place. A great area from last Friday's low from a trailing perspective. Other than that, gap down today. So on any rally, it would be the gap fill to 683.38. Coming into the rotation zone, I'm still keeping a very close eye on 679 area on the spiders. The Qs. The Qs still getting rejected here, but breaking down below. There's a really strong support shelf at 617.90 right now below there. So any rally, 617.90 is very key resistance. The key support areas, the major support areas, all the way back at 1175 to 612. You have some minor support coming in at 615. Bitcoin hitting the first target and then coming back down and invalidating the rest of the double. The rotation zone is held. So, not much to talk about there just yet. What do you want to look at? Charles, got to check out soybeans. I got 1170 as target, and corn looking to do the same move. I think it's just lagging. Soybeans. 1170. There's a key little level right around there. Yep. You're looking right at those lows. I'd be looking, if you want my opinion, it's just slightly higher, about 1176, and there's also a gap left behind. It's a roll gap, but it's still technically a gap. So that's be the key target area. Coming back down, really nice in the rotation zone. Got a percent B buy between Friday and Monday, and continuing higher. Is there a potential double top? Hold on. Is there a potential double top in SoFi? Is there a potential double top in SoFi? This is a lower probability double. This because of this big hitch before that, but yes, it still technically qualifies. Below on a close below 2566, which virtually would take it back to potentially the 200. Where does that look with the harmonics also? Right between the 50 and 62.5. So that would be a key one to watch. I would keep an eye on that OD green. Huge volume of spiders put purchases hitting the tape yesterday. Puts accounted for 78% of purchase premium in spiders yesterday. Thank you. I did not know that, Sterling. Hey, Dark Screen. I start to trade market structures only. Trade whatever works for you, Dark Screen. Just make sure you stick with something. What else? We have NVIDIA gapping down. We still have a gap between Friday and Monday. Remember that. The key gap fill price for that is 188.15. You still technically have, oh, I think that's still technically in place, a minor gap fill here. I don't think that was filled. 349.43. The low here was 349.6. No, so you still also have a small little gap in Broadcom. I want to touch on Cisco. Here's your gap up. Here is your gap up. The next harmonic higher was 77.68, 78.15. So trading just above there. If you're wondering, here is your, not to all-time highs yet, but hitting that. Here's how many. Look at that. All-time highs were set in March of 2000. And we're finally back in that high area over 25 years later. So if you sat through it all hoping to break even, if you were a buyer at the very end or leveraged up all the time, you're finally close. Yeah, don't change your trade. Come up with something and you got to see it through. First of all, that's why you test it, but I just wanted to point out Cisco because we've touched on that before. And there are going to be more stocks that behave like Cisco over the next few years that aren't going to touch their highs again for a very long time. All right. Yes, you did inflation. That's why. Yes, you're not. Again, you might be break even on paper, but from the cost of money, you are not break even. That's why know where your longer term stops are. I am not advocating holding back until break even. Why do I say when we have big topping patterns that could be a good place for a stop? Because you want to take your money and move on. You don't want to be trapped in something hoping for it to return to its highs for many, many years. So know where your stops are and stick to them. You can always get back in something if there's another good long-term buy setup. Good morning, Mark. AI has checked off the 87.5 rule. Yes, it has. So you had the little double that failed against the rotation zone, and now back to the 87.5 rule. Does that mean it can't go lower? Nope. That just checked off the rule. And it just had triggered a buy pattern that failed against the rotation zone. So now it'd be sitting on the hands very patiently. There might be some percent B buy setups coming up, but nothing yet. Can't type with his freaking bracelet. Well, it'll heal quickly, Sterling. Hope is not a strategy. Hopium is not a strategy. You don't trade off of hope. You stick to your setups. You don't see me varying the setups every day. All right, with that, we'll just peek at the S&P. The good old S&P. There we go. Let's see. Wonder if it will trigger on the 4-hour or not. Going to get interesting. And the 4-hour, we got 30 minutes left. So let's see if it does or if it just confirms and bounces back. That's all I'm looking at today. If we do bounce back, then there's some pretty key resistance higher. So unless we start getting some significant momentum, still watching for choppy with potentially down bias. If we invalidated the double, then I would shift back to choppy with a slight up bias. That's all I have. I will talk to everyone Friday, end of the week tomorrow, Friday the 14th. Today's Thursday the 13th. So we'll be back tomorrow morning to wrap it up. Hope everyone has a wonderful trading day. Bye for now.